Why is it called the WRM v10? Is it not the 11th cube in the Weilong line? Am I wrong? Well, let's count through it real quick. So we have the original Weilong, so that's one. Then we have the Weilong 2 or Weilong v2. I forgot what it was called, but there was a second one, so that's 2. Then the GTS 2, that's 4. And then GTS 2 and GTS 2M, right? But that's 4. Then the GTS 3M. Then the WRM, that's 6. Then what's after WRM? WRM 2020. Then WRM 2021. So we have 21. WRM v9. So that's 9. WRM v9 is the 9th one, right? That makes sense, right? WRM v9 is the 9th version of the Weilong. Makes 100%. That's right. And then the Weilong Super. So the Weilong Super is the V10 of the Weilong line, right? It's the 10th Weilong there is. So then why is the V10 called the V10? Right? Why is there even the Weilong Super is the V10? The V10 should be the V11. Right? Weilong v11, WRM v11, because it's the 11th iteration of the Weilong. But no. It's actually the 10th one. That's what MoYu wants you to think. So that's just something that's been bothering me a lot. This, like, yesterday. I find it hilarious. I don't know. It's literally not that big of a deal, but it's just, what? It's the 11th Weilong, not the 10th Weilong. Yes, I've been thinking about this way more than I should have. And I've come up with 3 different takeaways. The first one, which is the most obvious and probably the most likely one, is that MoYu made a mistake. They just made a mistake. Like, oops, we forgot there's 11 Weilongs. There's actually 10. You know, I'm sorry. Our naming system sucks so much and has zero consistency. We forgot. Yeah, okay. And then, but, you know, the more I think about that, it just doesn't make that much sense because, like, does the name not need to be approved? Surely the person that approved the name did the math, right? They counted every Weilong to make sure it's actually the 10th version of the Weilong. Someone had to do that. No one questioned. No one questioned if it was the 10th Weilong or not. Yeah, like, again, it's the most likely thing that happened, but still, it's a bit strange. Okay, then the second takeaway, which is pretty interesting actually, is that MoYu is trying to sweep the Weilong Super under the rug, right? Like, what's the Weilong Super? I don't know. Yeah, I don't like that. You know, you made the Weilong Super, and you put it out there, and on top of that, you made a light version of it, and you put it out there. It's too late to sweep it under the rug, in my opinion. Just own up to it, right? Like, oh yeah, we made the Super Weilong. Wasn't the best received cube ever, but hey, we made that. Like, and then it's nothing even about the Super Weilong. Honestly, the Super Weilong is a fine cube, from what I've heard. I've never tried it, but from what I've heard, it's a fine cube. Like, it works good. It's a solid cube. It's just all the bloat that comes with it. The giant box, the watch, the wristwatch, bro. Yeah, and the price tag, $100. Yeah, that's just dumb. Especially in the timing as well. They just released the V9. V9 is really good, but whatever. But anyways, the Weilong line is a successful line of cubes. It's a really good line of cubes. Each cube is very, very good at that time. So it makes sense why, not many people like the Weilong Supers, and the Weilong line's really good. We don't want it to taint the Weilong line. But it's like, it already tainted the Weilong line because you already made it. It's already out there. You're trying to sweep it under the rug, like, hopefully people forget about this, but no. Again, that's pretty unlikely. I think that's just, yeah. I don't see a good reason as to why they would do that. The third takeaway here, and my favorite, because it's so weird, it's so strange, is that The Weilong Super is actually a variant of the Weilong V9. So it's not its own iteration of the Weilong. It's just a Weilong V9, but plus $50. This one makes no sense, and let's go through why. So you have the GTS 2M. I love the GTS 2M. That was my second ever speed cube, my first ever magnetized speed cube. I love that thing. And yeah, it's a solid cube. But the GTS 2M came in like two different versions, the GTS and the GTS 2M. I'm sorry, the GTS 2 and the GTS 2M. So yeah, there's two different cubes. And I think there was a GTS 2M like world record edition after Yu Xingdu broke the world record with it. But honestly, like 2, maybe 3 different editions of that cube. Like that's the GTS 2 family right there. And then you have the Weilong V9. So then you got standard, maglev, ball core 3. And then the special edition. Now, I understand why someone wouldn't want to include the special edition here, because it's just like, oh, it's just a special limited thing. But honestly, the special edition had some features that the ball core and the other ones didn't. Well, I guess it had less features, but you know, it was kind of its own thing. And I love the special edition. I have it and it's great. So personally, I'm gonna count it, but I understand why you wouldn't count it. But yeah, that's like 4, maybe 3. And then on top of that, you have the 20 magnet ball core, 5. And then okay, so then we get, if we include the supers on this, right? Okay, keep in mind, there's already 5 on top of the GTS 2's like 2 to 3. Yeah, that's a little bit more. But if you include the supers, which is what this takeaway is considering, is that, oh, the super is just a variant of the V9, then you get the super standard or whatever, super maglev, and then super ball. There's 3 of them, right? Yeah, I think there was 3 of them, but yeah, that's 3. So that's 8. That's 8 different 8 different versions of the V9. That's a lot. And then we can include the light ones there just to have fun. I probably wouldn't include these normally, but let's have some fun. That's 11. Right? I think there's 3 light ones. Honestly, I don't know, but I think there's 3 of them. That makes sense. But okay, let's just say 11. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of cubes. And the reason why I think this is the funniest one and the best takeaway out of them all is because, well, the Weilong Super is just a Weilong V9, but we put a wristwatch in it and a giant box, and oh, that's $50 more. Of course, that's a joke. The Weilong Super is different to the V9, and this takeaway makes 0 sense, but it's fun. Yeah. Okay, so that's just something that's been bothering me. Like, it's the V11, it's not the V10, okay? Like, sure, the Super Weilong may have not been the most successful Weilong, but, like, it still counts, right? The Weilong V10 should be the Weilong V11. So, yeah, at this point, you know, maybe you can fix it. Maybe it's early enough into the release that, like, oh, wait, let's fix this before anyone really gets this, right? Because right now it's on pre-order on the Cubicle. But again, honestly, it doesn't matter that much. It bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot. Yeah, okay, that's the video. I pre-ordered it. Yeah, I pre-ordered it. I guess we'll see. I'm gonna call it the V11 from now on, I think. Maybe. It's gonna get confusing. I don't know. Love you, bye. I don't know what I'm doing.